A major update on CM Punk, including his, quote, BS merch, a TNA star slams AEW, a big title change on Dynamite, and more. I'm Ollie Davis, and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
You know when you're totally over that toxic relationship you had years ago, so much so that you don't even look at Megan's Creek 24 Facebook album she just put up? What do you mean she's got a kid now? It seems TNA have similarly moved on from the wrestling promotion they used to be in a relationship with AEW. The AEW TNA partnership in 2021 was short-lived, but came during a hot period for AEW. Kenny Omega was in belt collector mode, holding the Impact World title for 110 days before dropping it to Christian Cage on the first ever episode of AEW Rampage. Former TNA referee Brian Hebner has previously criticized the relationship as more being about putting AEW stars over than elevating TNA. And according to TNA's world champion Moose, their new boyfriend treats them so much better. Just look at their car. In an interview with the Metro, Moose said, I think the partnership with WWE is the best relationship that TNA's ever had. Way better than the one we had with AEW, better than what was done with AAA and any other company. I think this relationship with WWE, both companies respect each other and are doing great by each other. And there's not one company that is being selfish. Like how TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace was beaten on the NXT PLE by champion Roxanne Perez to get her win back on a TNA show against Tatum Paxley. At least WWE won't be able to steal the partnership's breakout star Joe Hendry. For a while, as he said on the Talk Is Jericho podcast, he has a while left on his TNA deal. Oh my God, say his name and he appears. But TNA isn't the only surprising wrestling name frequently turning up in NXT. CM Punk mysteriously showed up there on Wednesday the 17th of July too. With Drew McIntyre's suspension not being rescinded on Monday's Raw and Seth Rollins entering the feud's chat, it's being speculated that Punk won't be cleared in time for a him versus McIntyre singles match at SummerSlam. He's set to appear on next week's Raw, but in the meantime he was spotted at the WWE Performance Center with his NXT children Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, who, in a funny viral clip, asked him how the Great Depression was, a joke at how old they think Punk is. Not asking him about his last year in AEW. But according to PW Insider, Punk wasn't just at the PC to appear in TikToks, he was in the ring working to get officially cleared by WWE Medical. That would mean, at least before the 17th of July, Punk has still not been medically cleared. He tore his triceps in the Royal Rumble match back in January. He previously said at the Clash at the Castle media conference that he was hoping to be cleared on that week's SmackDown, but that was now almost a month ago. He'll have to get cleared in the next 2 and a bit weeks to make SummerSlam. Since Clash at the Castle, Punk has also kind of been feuding with McIntyre's UK mate, WWE commentator Wade Barrett. It's actually an example of long-term booking that stretches back to January 3rd, 2011, where Barrett lost a steel cage match which would see him betrayed by Punk, who would then take control of Barrett's Nexus faction. Which is probably why Wade exploded on X when WWE announced that they were re-releasing a CM Punk Nexus shirt in 2024. A Nexus shirt? WTF is this BS? And who in the merch department is getting a slap this Friday? Carbon copy Drew McIntyre. The real biggest match of the summer, though, is Dom versus Holly over on our brand new video game channel, Control Freaks. Here's a clip of the latest episode of the gang playing Overcooked 2.
What's coming next? Got more chips next.
There's some more chicken.
That can go.
We've only got one
Here's another
fryer
clean plate.
working, for God's sake.
Yeah, we've only got one fryer working, it's true. There's
Potato.
just
Thank you.
chips.
Look at that, Holly!
When I'm with Dom, Dom's such a liability.
You set the kitchen on fire and did nothing about it! And I couldn't help!
Dom is hard to work with. Dom is really hard to
Oh
work
my
with.
God!
Now it's time for my review of the 250th episode of AEW Dynamite in about 5 minutes. I missed last week's episode because I was in sunny Portugal for a stag. I'm stagging you. I wonder how that MJF versus Will Ospreay feud for the international title for All In's coming along. I'll leave you alone for 1 week. Can! Will Ospreay defending his international championship against MJF may be the biggest first-time match this company could do, opened this free episode of Dynamite TV. I'll get my one complaint out of the way early. I understand Tony's on-paper reasoning for wanting big matches to start shows to grab as many viewers as possible from the preceding Big Bang Theory, but in practice it creates a back-to-front viewing experience, giving the rest of the show an impossibly hard-to-follow standard and nullifying the prestige of the main event placement. But that aside, holy crap, this was one of the best matches in Dynamite history. MJF heeled it up early with all his usual tricks, going into the crowd and ripping up signs, doing the Ric Flair strut, but Will gave as good as he got, doing a strut of his own and wiping out Max with a senton to the outside. MJF then got the better of the next 20 minutes, i.e. a whole pay-per-view match length to mere mortals, coming off as incredibly smart and dangerous, expertly countering most of Will's big moves. It was all to build Ospreay's comeback, where he was actually the first to cheat. A lot of people are going to talk about Max using the diamond ring to win the match, but we should be looking at who fired the first illegal shot. Will using this foreign object, an actual human child, to hit Max in the chest. If that isn't a DQ, Bryce, I don't know what is. Then came the part of the 2K match when you tried to use all your favourite signature moves from other wrestlers. Ospreay hit two Styles clashes, one on the ring apron and one off the middle rope. MJF hit Adam Cole's Panama Sunrise. Both men attempted a crossroads. Will's arm by this point was dangling by a thread, so Doc Sampson popped it back in place during the ad break. Another bit of outside help for the baby face, and we finally got the payoff to the Chekhov's table set up about 40 minutes earlier, with Max hitting a top rope elbow outside onto Will through it. Then, somehow, 55 minutes in, both men just started sprinting. There's an incredibly fast sequence of near falls. Both men do the flip-out standing spot from the top rope Hurricane Ranas. Will hits an Os-Cutter and Hidden Blade, but Max kicks out. Ospreay goes for a second Hidden Blade from behind, but Max collapses before he can hit it. And then came the Oreo on top of this delicious wrestling Oreo cheesecake. Justin Roberts suddenly made the 1 minute remaining time call. Okay, I've seen this movie before. I guess a time limit draw is the safe way to build an all-in rematch. At least I got to see an all-timer hour-long match. Now desperate to win, Ospreay goes for the Tiger Driver he said he wouldn't hit again, but he second-guessed himself. It was enough of a pause for Max to recover and push Will away, sending Ospreay crashing into the referee, and enough time for MJF to knock Will out with his diamond ring, make the pin, and get the win with seconds to go left on the screen. MJF is your new international champion and has cheated to win after an hour-long match with Will Ospreay. It was a thrilling climax to a fantastic bout. The camera work didn't confirm the ring had been used until just after the win too, making the finish even more shocking. Medical personnel rushed in afterwards and hooked MJF up to an oxygen tank where, between gasping huffs on the mask, he brilliantly wheezed to camera, "Easy dub." Like I said earlier though, the problem with having the opening hour, one of the best matches of the year, kind of makes the rest of the show feel relatively subpar. We got a backstage segment of Swerve Strickland accepting the Acclaimed for Blood and Guts. Team A, EW, more like Team B, EW. Am I right? Chris Jericho had an in-ring learning tree segment to set up an FTW title match against Minoru Suzuki next week. The Elite banned Britt Baker from ringside for Mercedes Moné's TBS title match against Nyla Rose, but joke's on them because they didn't ban Britt Baker in a Sting mask from ringside. Baker had a pull-apart brawl with Moné after she retained in a decent match against Rose. Mercedes is so much better as a heel. The only way to make her better is to have her enter an on-screen relationship with Okada, who got all hot and flustered backstage when she did her dance. CEO, 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 CEO. Jack Perry proved Darby Allin couldn't get to him by beating up Brandon Cutler. By beating up Brandon Cutler himself. It took me way longer than it should have to realise Toni Storm was actually Mariah May dressed as Toni Storm next. She came down to explain her brilliant heel turn at the close of last week's show. But even gouging Storm's face open with a high heel didn't warrant Tony Schiavone just saying on commentary, "Speak, bitch," at the start of this segment, prompting Taz and likely everyone at home to go, "Whoa, Schiavone, calm down, buddy." May explained she'd been planning this all along. I didn't feel like this was the strongest promo performance as the crowd started to wat her. We got a recap of Collision and how the Bang Bang Gang are having to vacate their trios titles. Christopher Daniels, aka not Adam Pearce, told them he doesn't like this decision either, despite him being the one to say it, and it being from the direction of the babyface authority figure Tony Khan. Khan! I hate the general manager situation in AEW right now. And the main event was Kazuchika Okada versus Swerve Strickland in a champion versus champion non-title bout. They went about 10 minutes before the Bucks caused a rare DQ, as this was always more about having an angle to intensify next week's Blood and Guts match rather than putting on another in-ring classic. Team AEW came out too, Hangman and Swerve never got to be in the same ring together, and awesomely Darby Allin descended from the rafters Britt Baker style. One of the best hours in AEW TV history, followed by a normal episode. Means this week's Dynamite is 91%. Because the only thing that can top an hour of MJF versus Will Ospreay is an hour of Laurie, Dom, Sullivan and Holly losing their minds playing Overcooked 2. Go watch the latest episode of Video Game Club on Control Freaks now.